Welcome to Hickory Street Podcast. Gonna do another music review episode. So, this one won't take long. I'm gonna just do another 3 albums here. Just go ahead and get right into it. So, the first album is by a band called The Dead Pirates, and the name of the album is called High-Mare. And it's, I was actually shown this band by a friend of mine. And then I also found something out about this band from a different friend of mine, which I'll get into like here in a bit. But anyways, so like during the pandemic, we probably weren't supposed to, but me and a bunch of like music friends of mine had a party, like a small party. It was like, I don't know, 10 people or something like that. But we were just hanging out and drinking, and one of our friends put on a music video by this guy, by this band, and it was for their song Uggo, and it was from this album, but the music video was really cool, and it grabbed my attention like immediately, so I went ahead and checked out the entire album, and I just absolutely fell in love with it. They're kind of a psych band, and they got a lot of synthesizers, and I think they've got a few organ pieces in there as well, and they've got really fuzzed out guitars. It's really cool stuff. So High-Mare by the Dead Pirates, and so a friend of mine, Craig, who's an artist, really cool guy, actually told me, like, I showed him this music video that I thought was so cool, and he was like, "Oh, Macbeth," and I was like, "Macbeth? I don't know who that is." So apparently he's an artist who does a lot of like really cool scenes in the style that this music video is in, and so his work is apparently like very, very popular and praised, and he's done a few other videos. But then I checked out this guy, Macbeth, and really interesting guy. He's apparently French born, and he lives in London, and pretty much all of his work is characterized as being like old cartoons, which the music video for Uggo was, the best way to describe it is like a fucked up Mickey Mouse scene or something. Yeah, so he's also been in a few different bands apparently, like according to Wikipedia. And he does a lot of 3D animation stuff, but his style in particular is like very well known amongst the art community. So that was a cool like backstory behind this band and this guy. So, anyways, we'll go on to the second band now, and they're a band from North Carolina. Their genre is technically indie rock folk. The name of the band is called The Nude Party, and their self-titled album is the one that I actually discovered yesterday while I was at work. And it just instantly grabbed my attention. The best way to describe the way that it sounds from front to back is probably like 60s rock and roll is like the best way to describe it. They got a lot of influences that sound like it sounds like they're influenced by the Doors and maybe the band and maybe like Jimi Hendrix, the Beatles, just like a lot of guitar rock stuff. Anyways, they're from North Carolina, like I said. They were formed in 2012, but their first album didn't come out until 2018, and that's the one that I discovered. And they actually got their band name from how they used to play their shows. So they got sort of popular in their hometown of Boone, North Carolina, because there was a house venue there that they apparently would play at like completely naked. So then they just kind of kept calling themselves the Nude Party ever since that. So it sounds like maybe they didn't have a band name for a while, but the band was actually formed by two friends that were going to Appalachian State University, and then they teamed up with their childhood friends. They each had childhood friends that joined the band, and then their step siblings actually joined the band as well. So there's 6 people in the band. They're a pretty big band, but they've also got a lot of organ work in their music and their guitar playing. There's one song in particular where the guitar playing reminds me so much of the Doors, and they have an organ in the song too, so it's like very difficult for me to hear anything else except that. Except maybe the Rolling Stones. They have quite a few songs, and the lead singer in particular. Like, I feel like the lead singer's voice, which I'm pretty sure they have multiple singers, but there's one guy who I've noticed like sings a lot more of the songs, and he sounds like Mick Jagger for sure. Like, very. And like the guitar playing too, like it sounds like Rolling Stones, just like old blues stuff, like Chuck Berry, and Robert Johnson, like those guys, like maybe a little bit of Creedence Clearwater, just like that kind of stuff. But anyways, the last album I'm gonna review is. It's actually a rap album, and it's one of my favorite rap albums, if I'm being honest. And it's by a guy whose stage name, it's like the name of the product, the project is Coda the Friend. And he's fairly young. Like, it looks like he's a year older than me, so he's 28. And his album Photo, spelled F-O-T-O, is probably my favorite rap album, like, that's been put out somewhat recently, but there's quite a few that I listen to frequently. To Pimp a Butterfly is definitely one that's up there that I think is probably like the best rap album ever made, if I'm being honest. But so this album Photo, what really grabbed me to it is the instrumentation on the album. Actually, he uses, I believe, a live band on this. He might be sampling a jazz band. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think so, but there's a live band on the recordings, and he makes use of jazz in his rap songs in a way that's very unique. Like, obviously Kendrick Lamar has done that too, and tons of rappers that have done that, like Saba, as well. But the way that this guy does it, and the lyrical content in this album is very positive and upbeat. It's got a lot of positive messages in this, and there's like a bunch of sound clips which sound like maybe some of his relatives talking about his great-grandfather. So it might be, or his grandfather, or yeah, either his great-grandfather or his grandfather. But I think it's his his aunt and maybe his mom or something talking about him, and it's kind of like spread out throughout the album. But I think I really dig it because some of the lyrics and the way he delivers them is so unique, especially alongside the music composition part of it. And he's got a lot of cool uses of imagery in his lyrics. So like you can almost see what he's presenting to you, even though he presents like just a lot of basic situations. Like, I don't know, it almost feels like as he's rapping throughout the entire album, you're just like watching one long music video in your head. But because that's what it does for me. But he's from New York, actually, and I feel kind of bad because I've been showing people this album, and I thought the guy was from Chicago because in the songs he makes a lot of references to Chicago. So I thought he was from Chicago. Maybe he's just visited there quite a bit. I don't know. But anyways, those are my 3 albums for the day. And I think, next weekend I won't have a podcast, but the following weekend I think I do have one, and I'll be announcing it on the page soon. So, thank you.